Good afternoon. Just wanted to catch up. It's been probably about 6, 7 weeks since I made a video, and there's a reason for that. Reason for that is I've been really busy. I was out working in Silicon Valley, out in California. I had mentioned earlier how sometimes as a consultant, um, the technologies that are in your wheelhouse, the things you're really good at, they do eventually move on. It's the same in anything in technology. If you were a computer repair guy 10 years ago, you're probably not doing that right now, or if you are, you're not making a heck of a lot of money just because the nature of technology changes, right? So, um, whereas in the 80s, every year computers got so much faster and needed upgrading that you could go out and you could uh, you'd see a noticeable difference. So you'd have people coming in every year or two and saying, "Hey, I need a new computer. Can you migrate from um, my Windows 98 system to my Windows XP system?" And you can make some money doing that. And you'd probably have people on back order. That doesn't happen nowadays. You could take a computer from 3, 4 years ago and probably accomplish everything you need on it. Um, the other thing that changes is uh, the nature of software, whereas you used to go out and buy software and upgrade it every year. Um, does anybody remember when you waited in line to get a new operating system from Apple or even from Microsoft? I mean, it started with Windows 95, right? And maybe I'm dating myself, but I remember there was lines of people just waiting to go into the store and get, I've got my copy of Windows 95. I'm excited. You'd wait at midnight for this shit. Anyway, um, that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, even Apple used to every year was like a big thing. Hey, let's go get the new OS 10. Um, that doesn't happen anymore. And even like with Microsoft Office, that has very much turned into a software as a service solution. I mean, there's still some folks out there to buy it, but really, there's a lot of value in buying it off the internet and installing it as a service right now. Um, and I could do the math and show you how that works, but nonetheless, that's changed. And in my case, I had a particular system I worked on, and it was very good to me for a long time. I started as an engineer building the product, got into consulting, wanted to make myself a better engineer, found out I was pretty good at consulting, so I made a good living with it as a consultant for a while. Um, and the product's still there, it's still doing well, but it's thanks to market trends, it's sort of got commoditized, which is fine. So that's when you have to have if you've done it for a long time, you've got yourself comfortable. And I think I've talked about this in an earlier video. You get to a point where you have to have a come to Jesus meeting with yourself. Okay? You got to say, uh, you're not going to continue making the money you made doing the same thing. You got to do something new, something different. Okay? So I've been sort of embracing that over the past few months. Um, and maybe I got a bit of a late start with it. I don't know. Um, but I've sort of embraced it and I've enjoyed it. I'm learning new technologies. I'm learning new things. So I had an opportunity about 6, 7 weeks ago to go take on a project out in Silicon Valley, and it wasn't anything I had worked on in the past. Um, so I literally did a crash course on it over the course of about a week, and it really wasn't that hard. The neat thing about technology over time is you start to recognize patterns. You start to recognize similarities with things you've worked on. I mean, I got a programming background, right? So I started out as an engineer. So this new technology I was on was very much similar to screen design and coding, and actually in this case was coding using JavaScript and some back-end proprietary language. Wasn't hard. It took me about like literally a day to figure out what was going on, and then maybe another couple days to figure out the nuances. So my point being, don't be afraid to embrace change. It's kind of fun. You get into things that you might have been afraid of, like, I've never seen that before. I'm an expert over here, but I haven't done this in a long time. I'm going to be kind of scared. I might not be good. Don't be afraid of that stuff. I mean, if you're good at what you do and you've done it before, the way this industry works is nobody invents anything from scratch generally. They might change the way you do things, change the workflow a bit, maybe even create a new language. But when you look back at it and you get into it, it's really just the same thing reworked. So I don't want to use the analogy, it's like riding a bicycle, because it's not quite that simple, but it's not quite that hard either. All right, so if somebody gives you an opportunity, especially one that's going to expand your skill set, make you more valuable as a consultant or as a technology professional, jump on it. if you fail, you haven't forgotten anything you knew before. If you're really new at it, you haven't really ruined your reputation. If anything, you've improved it by saying, I'm embracing it, I'm trying it. And more times than not, you're going to succeed at it, all right? Succeeding is not being afraid to fail. Just take that opportunity, run with it. So for me, last 6-7 weeks, we're doing just that. I enjoyed it. I got really good at this technology. And to be honest, I was kind of sorry to see the project end. I also really like the area out there. I can't say I'm a huge fan of the cost of living in California. In fact, it's insane. A really basic house that here in Georgia you might get for 125, 150,000 out there is almost 2 million, maybe north of that. A studio apartment, you're looking at $3,000 a month. I really don't know how people live with it out there, unless you want to commute an hour, and that's quality of life as well. But wow, what a beautiful area. I was really enjoying taking some walks in the hills behind our office, and right around the area I was working in, we had a lot of technology companies. You had Tesla right there, VMware, you had SAP right there. So it was kind of a neat place to work, and even hanging out with people at night, kind of neat people to talk to as far as having a lot in common with the industry you're in. Oh, and not being a basketball fan, I really enjoyed watching the Golden State Warriors out there. They had a phenomenal year. I think they broke all records in the history of the sport. So that was kind of neat, kind of special to see. But that's it. Moving on to the next project, and hopefully I'll get some more videos up here now. Good talking to you again, and I hope this helps somebody in the technology field.